losing sleep? What if I lost touch? What if I'll never get it right? I try to follow my heart, but I lost it somehow. Wish that someone could say it'll all be okay. Just listen to me as I say. Listen to me as I slow it down. Dreams still yours if you want it. Breathe the light, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. Slow it down. Dreams still yours if you want it. Breathe the light, 'cause those ups and those downs is what makes it worth it. I never left a stone unturned.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, it does not matter who the host is. Today is Friday, December the 17th of 2021. Yes, it is 2021. Well, only 14 days left to go. We are on day 351st of the year. Wow, 351. Just 14 días left before it's actually all set and over with. Anyways, we're broadcasting live from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida. And we're coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM and hanging out with our friends and colleagues at the other place that we do stuff at. Radio Big. So there you go, hanging out on Radio Big, doing the stuff, hanging out on Safety FM, doing the stuff. So we're just doing stuff when it all comes around and about. Anyways, hopefully everything was fine and exciting over the overnight for you as you were doing your thing and I was doing my thing and people were just doing their things together. So however that ends up working out. So hopefully you had a fun time. I'm glad that it's Friday. Don't know if I will say thank God it's Friday. It's just any other day of the week as we are taking a look at it. Anyways, phone lines are open today at callinradio.com. I know it becomes very confusing when you start saying that. So if you want to text, if you want to video message, if you want an audio message, all you have to do is go into callinradio.com off of any web browser, and that will get you populated into our system relatively quick. So that should not be a difficult thing to do, just in case if you're interested in doing so. So there you go with that. Anyways, let's start talking about what is going on inside of the world and the trends of the overnight. We'll start talking about those. Urban Meyer was trending Thursday after news broke that he had been fired as the Jacksonville head coach, so that was going around. Also, hashtag only things that matter is landed in Twitter's top 10 trends yesterday as tweets included passing voting rights, how you see yourself, family, kindness, that I have my coffee, safety, power, and loving and being loved was all in the trending of the overnight of the things that were going on. Also, what else was going on around there? Hashtag Joe Biden builds bridges was trending on Twitter as user complimented President Joe Biden on how he's been running the country. Many of the tweets commented on how caring he is. So there you go. What else did we see over there? Melania Trump was trending yesterday after former First Lady announced that she was selling an NFT or a non-fungible token titled Melania's Vision. The digital art will be sold on her newly launched platform, which is powered by Parler. So there you go. What's her new digital platform? I think somebody should tell me that one. I might be slightly interested just to hear a little bit more about it. Anyways, I don't know what you have planned for your weekend. A lot of people are planning on going to go see Spider-Man. That seems to be the popular chat over the things that I've been seeing and all that kind of fun stuff. So I don't know if that is on your agenda. I will be the guy to do the thing that I would strongly tell you that you probably should not do, as we did talk about it yesterday on RadioBig.fm. Sony has went out of their way to ask people, beg people, not to go around and give away any of the things that are going on inside of that particular movie, which I thought was pretty interesting, on them begging people. So today I am going to show you, if you're looking at the screen right now, the biggest spoiler on Spider-Man altogether. So here you go. That is the biggest spoiler that I can give you about Spider-Man. So there you go. That is a spoiler with the word Spider-Man on it. Anyways, let's get out of the cheesy comments and let's kind of go into some other things that are going to be important for some. So let's talk about these real quick. So new to Amazon Prime, if you're looking for some video on demand services on what to take a look at over the weekend, Boxing Day, Christmas is canceled. When Hope Calls Christmas, Enjoy for Christmas. That's all going on right now on Amazon Prime. New to Disney Plus will be Home Alone 4 and Home Alone Holiday Heist. New to HBO Max's A Forbidden Orange. New to Hulu will be Mother/Android and Nowhere In. New to Netflix will be Old Boy. So there you go. If you're looking for some movies to take a gander at, there you go. That's some things to take a look at over the weekend for your video on demand services. Anyways, before we start getting into the array of stuff that we have going on today, just in case you're not familiar with the show, it normally kind of goes like this. We talk about the news, we talk about what's going on, and then I come back and give you what exactly I think is going on from my glorious point of view. I don't know if it's glorious, but it's just something interesting to say. So we'll go over through those simple things. So as you take a listen, we will bring in some professional broadcasters to start it all off, because I think that that's always important. And then from that particular point, after we do that, we'll start talking. Anyway, 7 minutes past the top of the hour, you are listening to the Rated R Safety Show, and here is the news.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. At least 27 people are thought to have died in a building fire in the Japanese city of Osaka. Police are investigating whether arson might have been behind the blaze. Those who are feared dead are understood to have been in a psychiatric clinic. Boris Johnson's Conservative Party has lost a by-election in North Shropshire, a Westminster seat it had held for nearly 200 years. Liberal Democrat Helen Morgan won the vote, overturning a 23,000 majority. It increases the pressure on Boris Johnson's leadership after a series of scandals. Liberal Democrat peer Baroness Susan Kramer says the Conservatives have themselves to blame.
Well, I mean, I think this was a protest against Boris Johnson. There's more happening than that. It is more complex. I found when I was on the doorsteps, and it was clear nobody had been acting on the behalf of local people. People didn't even seem to know they could go to an MP and say, look, this is a problem. I need your help to get something done about it. So this was a seat that had been taken for granted.
The Weather Office in India is warning of an intense cold wave in at least 4 states. Health experts are concerned it could fuel a third wave of COVID-19 infections. Authorities are stepping up measures, as Ishan Girg reports from New Delhi.
Delhi officials are especially concerned about a third wave of COVID-19 cases. The capital recorded its highest daily tally of infections in 3 months on Thursday. It's also one of the states to be worst hit by the cold wave. Weather officials say the mercury can drop drastically in the next 5 days before the situation improves. Health officials worry that the nearly 500,000 homeless people in the city could be hit the worst. The Delhi government has warned that it can impose restrictions on movement if the infection curve rises. While less than 100 cases of the Omicron variant have been detected in the country, health experts say hundreds of millions of unvaccinated people could be at a high risk.
Facebook's notifying nearly 50,000 users in more than 100 countries they may have been targets of hacking attempts by surveillance companies. The social media firm's taking enforcement action against 7 of those companies. Rachel Silverman reports.
The notifications and enforcement actions are a result of a months-long investigation by Facebook's parent company Meta into what it calls cyber mercenaries who engage in surveillance for hire. The social media company says the investigation reveals new details about the way surveillance companies enable their clients to indiscriminately target people across the internet, to collect intelligence about them, manipulate them, and ultimately compromise their devices. The investigation comes as Facebook is itself facing intense scrutiny following accusations by a whistleblower that it enabled the spread of hate speech and disinformation.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, efforts by France to delay the arrival of the Omicron variant. They have exhibited themselves in the form of a travel ban against people from Britain. Starting this weekend, only people who can prove a compelling reason to make the journey from the UK across the Channel will be permitted to do so. The move does not impact British permanent residents in France, but it certainly means a lot of Christmas holiday plans have been upended north of the White Cliffs of Dover. Reporter John Litchfield is based in Normandy. He says he doesn't think there's a political dynamic to the decision beyond a desire to try and slow the variant's arrival.
No, I think it's purely trying to stem the tide of Omicron into France for as long as possible so that the French can boost their third jabbing, which they've been doing quite effectively in the last 2 or 3 weeks, to just gain a few more days. I don't think there's any doubt that Omicron, if it's there in those numbers in Britain, even with these restrictions, it will arrive. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's purely that, Britain is next door to France, and there is a huge surge of Omicron going on, and there's still huge doubts about just how serious Omicron is going to prove to be. So it's just a question of trying to gain a little bit of time.
EU leaders warned yesterday at their last summit of the year that more travel restrictions may have to be imposed once the Christmas holiday season is over. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, at least 27 people are thought to have died in a building fire in the city of Osaka. Boris Johnson's Conservatives have lost a by-election in North Shropshire, a seat they'd held for nearly 200 years. The Weather Office in India is warning of an intense cold wave which could cause a spike in COVID infections. And Facebook's notifying nearly 50,000 users in more than 100 countries they may have been targets of hacks by surveillance companies. That's the latest feature story news. Ollie Barrett reporting.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to start foraging wild berries.
I was skeptical, but these are actually pretty good.
You don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
These days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidates for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs made it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free. I have to tell you, even before they ever became a sponsor here on Safety FM, we have used LinkedIn Jobs to help find the people that we have here on Safety FM. It's an easy service to use. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience and use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified candidates. Then use the simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates you want to talk to faster. Did you know that every week nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? Post your job for free at linkedin.com/safetyfm. That's linkedin.com/safetyfm to post your job for free. Terms and conditions do apply. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother. We can do this together.
All right, let's go.
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know.
I know.
You don't. Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No.
Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this.
You will rock this.
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Cool. Very cool.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was
the
fine.
most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, are you tired of hanging around and talking about safety in a boring kind of format? Well, I got something for you. If you haven't hung out with us yet at safetyfm.com, I'm going to encourage you to do so. Yeah, if you come out to Safety FM, you can come hang out with all kinds of safety professionals. Some are safety professionals, some are just people that are talking about safety. But we want to do it in a format that makes it fun and entertaining. If you're kind of trying to figure out what the FM portion is, well, we're a radio station and also a podcast network. You can come out, hang out, and listen to my show, The Jay Allen Show. You can listen to Todd Conklin with the pre-accident investigation, Blaine J. Hoffman with the Safety Pro, the Hop Nerd, Sam Goodman, just to name a few on what can be found on the station. Different things for different people, trying to bring safety in an entertaining form. SafetyFM.com. Go to the website, download the app, and carry it with you all day long. SafetyFM.com. We'll be waiting for you.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, there you go. 17 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Freeform Friday. Anyways, let's start talking about what's going on inside of the world of the news, because it's always important and what exactly is going on in that particular regards. In New York City, where vaccination and mask wearing are sacraments of COVID-19 compliance, daily news cases are exploding and have doubled in just a matter of days. Incoming Mayor Jerome Adams tells NBC News New York is going to take a lot for me to lock down the city. So there you go. Some interesting information coming around and about and all that kind of fun stuff. A CDC panel has ruled that Moderna and Pfizer vaccines should be used over Johnson & Johnson's following multiple reports in those who got a single jab of the shot. The FDA guidance also now says that the Johnson & Johnson shot should not be administered to anyone with a history of conditions of either. So much for safe and effective. So I don't know. I have to tell you, when I first heard about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, I definitely thought that if I was going to get the actual jab, that would be the angle to go with. But now starting to think about it, if that's the angle, how do you feel about it? If that's the one that you ended up getting, what are your thought processes when it actually, or processes when you start thinking about it? I mean, I'm just wondering, because it's just one of those weird things that you say, hey, I thought I was getting the one jabber, nothing to worry about. And then all of a sudden now there is some areas of concern.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, Anthony Fauci has written an article in the New England Journal of Medicine calling for international science community to develop a universal COVID vaccine with long-lasting potential. NBC reports that they suggest forming an international effort to collect animal coronavirus samples worldwide and developing ethical challenge trials for coronavirus, among other measures. Worth asking what could go wrong. Scientists around the world internationally exposing themselves to animal coronavirus and then working on them in labs. I think it all sounds pretty familiar as I do say that out loud, but it's just one of those things to think about. How would that actually work? You know, what would be the rules, regs, and all that kind of fun stuff? Just as some stuff to think about, especially as we are talking on this Friday. How is your general feeling and approach to the whole thing? I mean, I don't know. That's why I asked the question, because your approach and your feeling about it is, of course, the most important part of what we're talking about. Anyways, a group of parents have sent a letter to the NCAA demanding a rule change that allows transgender athletes to compete. In the wake of Leah Thomas, the recent streak of shattering standing women's records in swimming, they wrote, "It is unfair and irresponsible to Leah to allow the media to dictate the narrative without the participation of the NCAA." Thomas competed in the men's teams over the last 3 years. UPenn dismissed the letter, issuing a brief statement saying that Penn Athletic is committed to being welcoming and inclusive environment for all student athletes, coaches, and staff, and we hold true to the commitment today and into the future. So there you go. So what do you think about this? What is your general thought about the whole thing? I mean, it's an area that there's still a lot of discussion about, of course, in regards of that. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if you keep up with mixed martial arts, but there was a few months ago, there was a match of a transgender that actually went into a MMA match against another female. And it was interesting because they were a transgender, and of course they were now a female, and now they were fighting against other females. And it's an interesting match if you go back and take a look at it in regards to what transpired inside of there. And there's, of course, a lot of questions that come about. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot more questions at this particular point to ask than answers, to be quite honest with you. So I don't know if that's something for public debate at the moment. Maybe it's a conversation that people should have and really determine on what needs to be done. I don't know. It's something that I didn't, when we were talking about all this, gender pronouns and everything that's going on, and people, transitioning, that's something that I give a lot of thought to, but it is something that will have to be discussed in the future. I mean, maybe now, presently, and into the future. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting conversation, to say the least. I don't know exactly what to say about it.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
So take a listen to this. Former McDonald's CEO Steve Easterbrook was ousted from the company in 2019 for having a consensual but inappropriate relationship with a subordinate. He got more than $100 million as part of the severance package, but now McDonald's is getting that back in a settlement. Lawyers for the Golden Arches said that Eastbrook lied to the board about the extent of the involvement with the employee. The payout was a combination of stock and cash, but no word on the total breakdown was and how it will be paid back. So, here's my question. So if you're sitting there and you're going through the convo of, hey, you had an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate, how far does the discussion go? I mean, seriously. And I mean, I know it's the CEO. I'm not saying, anything against it. But how does that conversation go about? Like, what is the level of detail that was expected to the guy to go to? And what are we talking about inappropriate relationship? Like, was inappropriate from the CEO standpoint as part of the organization, or was it inappropriate according to what the subordinate said? I mean, there's so many different things to ask there that it kind of seems like there's a lot left hanging, if you get my drift of what I'm talking about.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so Facebook's parent company Meta has announced that it's purging roughly 1,500 fake accounts on its sites that have been used to spy on an estimated 50,000 people. You heard that coming from Feature Story News. The fake accounts were fronts for trying to infect other users with spyware and other damaging viruses. It'll be interesting to see on how that actually goes about going forward. As you take a look around, there's so many different accounts that we've talked about over the years in regards to the stuff that people do inside of the different redes sociales or different social media aspects as people go about and take a look and do the different things that they do. I will tell you, one of my parents, I think at some point I've had 3 different friend requests from one of them, meaning that I already have my parent on Facebook or Meta or whatever the hell you want to call it. And then I've had 2 other ones pop up with the exact same user profile that I knew that it wasn't them. So it made it kind of interesting. Anyways, Uber is partnering with company pioneering driverless car technology to provide automated food deliveries in Santa Monica, California. The program will roll out in 2022, but Uber has not yet announced if human person will bring the food from the driverless car to the customer's door yet. So that's going to be an interesting thing, because let's take a look at this. So let's say, for instance, you live out in the burbs. It won't probably be that difficult for you. The driverless technology comes about. They go ahead and they hit you up. They go, hey, this is what's going on. The vehicle's here. Come pick up the product, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's take a look and think about some of these heavily congested areas. Like, let's say, for instance, hypothetically, you live in a downtown area and you live in a high-rise. How the hell is that going to work? Are you expected to come down and pick up the food from the vehicle? I'm just wondering. And then let's start talking about the world of catering, because that's going to be something entirely different. If you start catering food to like an event that you're having, how the hell is that going to look? That's going to change some things up for sure, as we are as anything else that's going on, because that's going to be one of those very, very, very interesting things as we are talking for sure. I don't know, just something to think about. How do you take a look at it? Anyways, I think before we get too far into it, let me bring Johnny Smalls inside of here and let him talk to you about what is going on in the market beat, because that stuff is always important.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Friday, December 17th, 2021. Equities gave up some of their gains on Thursday, with the tech-heavy NASDAQ Composite leading the way. The NASDAQ index fell more than 2.5% at the low of the day as investors weighed the impact of an accelerated FOMC rate hike timeline on a sector laden with debt. The S&P 500 fell a smaller 1% at the low of the day, while the blue-chip Dow Jones Industrial Average tried to post a small gain. In regards to the FOMC and the timing of interest rate hikes, the Fed did not comment on how long after the taper ends it will wait to raise rates. If the Fed waits until May, like the market is expecting, that will mean 13 months of rising inflation, and inflation well above the 2% mark. If the inflation trends don't change, and the Fed does wait until May, we expect the first hike to be worth 2 to 3.25 increases. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.
Okay, thank you, Johnny Smalls, for that one. That's definitely going to be some interesting stuff, depending on how that actually ends up going around and about and all that other kind of fun stuff. How do you take a look at that if there's going to be some dramatic changes inside of the actual interest rates, and you take a look at some of the other aspects too? And here's the thing, as we start getting towards the year end, and I don't know how the review stuff works inside of where you work, but how is that going to look going forward in regards of with the inflation increase? You know how they normally give you a price of a living increase, anywhere between 3 to 5% is kind of the norm. How the hell is that going to look at most employees relationships going forward? Because that's definitely going to be a question worth asking. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. Today begins a 10-day mourning period in North Korea on the 10th anniversary of Kim Jong the second death. Is that it says the second? I think it says the second death. During the time, North Koreans has banned from drinking alcohol, having any leisure activities, and even laughing. Grocery shopping also won't be permitted today. Really? That's some serious stuff. So you can't laugh. You can't do leisure activities and you can't grocery shop. I hope you got stuff ahead of time. On an inside source tells Radio Free Asia that people who have violated such rules during the previous mourning periods were taken away and never to be seen again. Wow, that's some rough stuff there. Never to be seen again. Shit, don't be running to the grocery store, that's for sure. Another source says the police have already been enforcing the rule in the lead up to the period that is set to the appropriate tone and mood. Think about that real quick. There is no laughing, there is no grocery shopping, there is no leisure activities. I just can't imagine on how that would actually work in a place like this joint, on how that would happen.
Listen to our host of the Rated R Safety Show self-implode on our airwaves, only on Safety FM.
Okay, an analysis of a sample collected by NASA and the Perseverance Mars rover indicate that the bedrock of the area that has been exploring was formed from magma millions of years ago. The study also suggests that the rock was exposed to water in a few different cycles over time, and some samples likely include organic molecules. Yes, organic molecules. So some stuff to think about as you are hanging out and taking a listen to that on this lovely morning. Also, a Chilean daredevil has earned the title of the first person to fly in and out of an active volcano. Hey now for sure. Okay, the 36-year-old Sebastian Alvarez jumped out of a helicopter 2.2 miles above the Villarrica volcano in Chile while wearing a wingsuit. Alvarez practiced the feat for over 500 times to get down the flying technique. Think about that real quick. That's pretty insane if you start thinking about it. I mean, how would you take a look into that particular world? I'm going to wear a wingsuit. I mean, I've seen some terrible accidents when it comes to wingsuits. There was one that I remember pretty graphically that was on a documentary of a guy trying to fly under a bridge. I don't know. The wingsuits are always pretty interesting to me in regards of having los cojones de steel to be able to actually go out there and do that. But that's a whole other conversation. Anyways, in some other news, talking about some other things that are going on. Don't know if you heard about this, but Jason Hitch, yes, good old Jason Hitch, has died. The 90-day finance star passed away on Tuesday after suffering complications due to COVID-19. His sister told Page Six other complications may have contributed to his passing. He was 45. Jose Angel Hernandez, better known as Flo La Movie, has died. The music producer was killed along with 8 others when their private aircraft crashed while making an emergency landing into Santo Domingo on Wednesday. His longtime partner and 4-year-old son was also died in the crash. It is unclear what prompted the emergency landing or what caused the crash. He was 36 at the time of passing. Anyways, you are listening to the Jay Allen. No, you're not. You're not listening to the Jay Allen Show. You're listening to RadioBig.fm and SafetyFM.com. We are hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show today, doing the things that we do. Anyways, we are going to take a pause for the cause. I will be right back right after this. Don't go too far away, because that's what we're doing. We're hanging out, doing some things together on this lovely Friday.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all gotta see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan.
Separated.
We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message. Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know how sometimes in life you have those moments of shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know what I'm talking about. It happens all the time to people. So let's talk about that very sensitive subject of male pattern baldness. Don't go through that moment where you're going, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's talk about my friends at Keeps. 2 out of 3 men experience some form of hair loss by the time they are 35. With more than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. You don't have to be one of them. Think about this. There are only 2 FDA-approved medications that can prevent hair loss, and my friends at Keeps offer both. Keeps offers simple, stress-free way for you to keep your hair. Convenient virtual doctor's consultations and medication delivered straight to your door. I mean, I have to tell you, just for the whole sake of not having to leave your house to have the consultation, that should sell itself. But the low-cost treatments start just as low as $10 per month, and Keeps offers generic versions. Discreet packaging and proven results. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. I want you to think about that. People love the product. Prevention is key. Treatment can take 4 to 6 months to see results, so act fast. All you have to do to take action to prevent hair loss is to go to keeps.com. That's KEEPS.com/safety. to receive your first month of treatment for free. That's keeps.com, KEEPS.com/safety to get your first month free. That's KEEPS.com/safety. Remember, not everybody has such a beautiful head as mine. So don't be saying coulda, shoulda, woulda. Act on Keeps right now.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they could be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with Home Title Lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
I'm loving this crazy world. I feel like I was never hurt. All I wanted was to be loved. All I wanted was to be loved. What makes it worth slow it down. Tell yours if you want to ride. 'Cause those stops and those bounces, what makes it worth
Okay, there you go. 40 minutes past the top of the hour. As you and I are hanging. This is Make It in Time by Gamma Skies. This song's readily available on iTunes and Spotify. So there you go. Thank you to Gamma Skies for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. And there you go, there you go, there you go. Let's bring that down a little bit here, and let's get moving into some other things that are going on inside of this world of our multiverse. So let's start talking about things that are going on. So let's talk about some shooting some bull. Let's talk about some movies that are opening today. Take a wild guess what I'm going to talk about. Spider-Man No Way Home PG-13 opens today with Spider-Man identity now revealed. Peter asks Doctor Strange for help. When the spell goes wrong, dangerous foes from the other worlds start to appear. Benedict Cumberbatch, Zendaya, Marisa Tomei, and Tom Holland all are in this movie. Nightmare Alley, rated R mystery thriller. An ambitious carny with the talent of manipulating people hooks up with a female psychiatrist who is even more dangerous than he is. Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, and William Dafoe all star in this one. I haven't heard of that one. Maybe I have to pull up the preview, take a look at that one. The Lost Daughter comes out today as well. It's rated R. A woman's beach vacation takes a dark turn when she begins to confront the troubles of her past. This one actually has J.C. Buckley, Dakota Johnson, Ed Harris, and Olivia Colman. So there you go. If you're interested in actually going around and taking a look, well, I think you got some things that you can do today if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, let's talk about some other things going on here. Let's talk about some chew on this. The University of Pennsylvania researchers have created a chewing gum laced with plant-grown protein capable of trapping and neutralizing the virus that causes COVID-19. Yeah, you heard me correctly there. The report of the gum can lower the viral load of saliva and potentially reduce the transmission rates. According to a new study, leader SARS-CoV-2 CoV-2 replicates the saliva glands, and we can now know that when someone is infected, sneezes, coughs, or speaks, some of that virus can be expelled and reach others. The gum neutralizes the virus in the saliva, cutting down the sources of the disease and transmission. Yeah, but what does the gum taste like? Maybe that's the other question that we need to think about as we are talking. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other stuff. So here's the thing. Before I say the next thing, would you chew this gum? And then number two, how expensive is this stuff going to be? I mean, don't get me wrong, gum's pretty expensive already as it is, but how is that going to work? I mean, I'm just wondering, is this going to be like a $10 piece of chewing gum, $20? I mean, I'm just wondering on how that would work. Anyways, if you need something to look forward to after the holiday season, Oreo says that it will usher in the 2022 not but with one but two new flavors. The Toffee Crunch consists of toffee flavored cream blended with sugar crystals to create a crunch between the signature chocolate wafers. The other new Oreo is a limited edition flavor that is perfected for the days leading up to Valentine's. The Ultimate Chocolate Oreos have 3 layers of white milk and dark chocolate cream piled between traditional chocolate wafers. You had me at toffee and at crunch and the ultimate chocolate. So there you go. I am just not a fan of toffee, me personally. But hey, if that's your gig, knock yourself out with that. Not something that I will probably be looking into. But hey, that's me, not you. And you get it, I get it, and we all kind of mix in from there.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Two Brazilian politicians have decided to settle their differences in the ring. Yeah, this is definitely the world of the news of the weird. While most political issues are debated in Parliament, the mayor Barboa of Barboa, Samaia Palixen, and former council member Arano Alves da Silva went toe-to-toe. Instead, da Silva called out Samayo a few months ago, saying that he wasn't a fan of his leadership. In the video posted online, in an irate ex-council worker demanded the pair go up against each other. The mayor accepted the challenge, and then on Sunday they got into the ring together. Footage of shows two throwing some wild punches and kicks, with them clearly hurting one another. After 3 brutal rounds, the mayor was declared the winner, despite the Miracle seeming to have the best, leading some in the crowd to claim that the match was fixed. At least half an hour of their hands wasn't as good as it was before. I mean, I don't know. Just some interesting things to take a look at as we are speaking. Let's see. Happy holidays, Jay. I can see you as LinkedIn user, so I will call you LinkedIn user. Thank you, LinkedIn user. Happy holidays to you as well. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. A California woman managed to trade a worthless bobby pin for a house. It took 18 months and 28 trades, but Demi Skipper found a creative route to home ownership via social media. She used an Insta, TikTok, Craigslist, Facebook, and eBay to put items for swapping at a time, trading up to better items. After saying that in her first video, "I'm trading a bobby pin until I get a house," she exchanged a bobby pin for a costume jewelry earring. After a few more trades, she nabbed an Xbox and then traded it for collector sneakers, an old car, a tiny cabin. Eventually, she scored 3 tractors and traded for Chipotle celebrity card worth 1 year of free food and catered party. Let's see. She swapped that for about a $40,000 trailer, and then a man who flips houses in Tennessee offered to trade her a cute little clapboard house with pink shutters for the trailer. She and her husband plan to move there soon. So let's just make sure that I take a look at this. So you're gonna move from California to Tennessee. I mean, that's a trade. I mean, that's a trade for sure. As we are talking, so that's just something to take a look at for sure as we are talking about it. I saw the picture of the couple. She looks happy, but her hair was messy. So I guess that's a good thing if you want to take a look at that as we are talking. Anyways, 47 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about Did You Know? According to MyDA, an app created to teach kids to save money. The average allowance these days is $7 to kids under 7. The software, developed in conjunction with the division of Royal Bank of Canada called RBC Ventures, showed that the children between the ages of 10 to 14 groups net the average of $10 per week, and the teens over 14 get $13 per week. Money for nothing. Good work if you can get it. I'm going to tell you, I am not a fan of allowances. You can ask my kids about that. We do not do allowances. We do that you do work and we pay you. If you don't do work, you don't get paid. And I'm not talking about chores. I'm talking about actually doing things that are above and beyond. Cleaning your room is not going to get you paid. That's just not how the way that it actually works. So there you go. You have to do some things to get money. There is no money for free out there. So unless you're doing something that I don't understand, it'll be very difficult to be able to do that. Anyways, before I forget, let me tell you about my friends real quick at the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Whether you have struggled with suicide yourself or have lost a loved one, know that you're not alone. Hear about personal experiences from people in your local communities whose lives have been impacted by suicide and depression. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to afsp.org. That is afsp.org, or call 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255, or text the word TALK to 741-741. And there you go. You never know when you might need the information, so that's what you can take a look at. and see if you might need it. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. No winner for Tuesday night Mega Million drawing. Tonight's drawing will be for $160 million or $115.7 million cash payout. No winner for Wednesday night's Powerball drawing either. Saturday's drawing will be for $353 million jackpot or a $256 million cash payout. So if you're looking to play the game, you might have the opportunity to do so. Something to think about for sure as we are talking and moving and grooving and doing all that other fun stuff that we like to talk about real quick. Let's see. What do we want to do? Let's do Motivation Minute, because I think that's going to be important. So let's bring Johnny Smalls inside of here real quick, and we'll go from there.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote has been submitted by Ryan. There's an anonymous quote that says, "Be patient. Empires are not built in a day." I love this quote, but it's a tough one. If you've ever been the one who needs to keep a project on track, you know it can be hard to be patient. If you've ever been a business owner who's losing money every month until things get up to scale, you know it can be hard to be patient. If you're waiting on the results of an experimental cure that could save a loved one's life, you absolutely know it can be hard to be patient. But please try. Oftentimes, patience pays off. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Your Wellness Minute is brought to you by alessamorgan.com. So how do we go about creating a new habit that is aligned with the 4 components of cue, craving, response, and reward? This 4-step process is not something that happens occasionally, but rather it's an endless feedback loop that is running and active during every moment you are alive, even now. The brain is continually scanning the environment, predicting what will happen next, trying out different responses, and learning from the results. The entire process is completed in a split second, and we use it again and again without even realizing everything that has been packed into the previous moment. Whenever you want to create a new habit, simply ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? How can I make it attractive? How can I make it easy? And how can I make it satisfying? For this and more information on wellness, please visit alessamorgan.com.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm sure I'm trying to be something entertaining. I don't know if that's actually part of the gig, but hey, it is part of the conversation. Anyways, let's talk about some court cases real quick. Giselle Maxwell, former assistant who took the stand for defense on Thursday. Instead of that, she never saw any abuse. She also referred to Jeffrey Epstein as a giver and a generous boss. Before the court ended for the day, Maxwell's defense team informed the judge that it would wrap up its case by the end of Friday. That means a closing statement Monday and begin deliberating as early as Tuesday. So there you go. Some information that you probably didn't expect, and now you got it. Anyways, let's talk about the top 10 books according to People magazine for 2021. Taking it from the bottom to the top and the top to the bottom. At number 10, Empire of Pain. At number 9, How Beautiful We Were. At number 8, Mike Nichols, A Life. At number 7, Clara in the Sun. At number 6, The Lyrics. At number 5, Smile. Number 4, Ghost. At number 3, A Lie Someone Told You About Yourself. At number 2, The Plot. And the number 1 book, according to People magazine for 2021, The Love Songs of Webb Du Bois. So there you go. Just some stuff right there that you can take a look at. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2017, Star Wars The Last Jedi rakes in more than $450 million worldwide on opening weekend. The film marked the second largest debut weekend domestically with $220 million. Let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Nat Wolff turns 27. Kiersey Clemens turns 28, Tom Walker 30, Emma Bell 35, Jeremy McKinnon 36, Stephen Frayne 39, Manny Pacquiao turns 43 today, Maria Brink turns 44, Duff Goldman 47, Sarah Paulson, 47. Bill Pullman turns 68 today. Eugene Levy, from, Schitt's Creek and American Pie fame, turned 75. Jacqueline Wilson turns 76. And Pope Francis turns 85 today. So there you go. Anyways, if you're looking for some reasons to celebrate, I might have a few of those for you today. National Maple Syrup Day, Wright Brothers Day, and National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day. I thought that was at some point next week you get to wear those. And then Underdog Day. So there you go, some things that you can celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff before we get you out of here. If you want to come and hang out with me at the very top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm exclusively, going through some music and some sit backs and where you can talk and chat and do all that kind of fun stuff. If you want to come and do that, that will happen here in the next 6 minutes or so. Then I'll be going over to radiobig.fm. All you have to do is go to your web browser and type in radiobig.fm. Pretty simple. It's a pretty simple process. Once you get to the website, you can either listen to it directly off there, or you can actually download the app and take a listen to what we have going on. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff real quick. If you want to talk about some Wack Facts, here we go. I got some for you. There are no muscles in your fingers. The function is controlled by muscles in the palm and in your palms and your arms. So there you go. Good news is more likely to be shared through social media than bad news. Polar bears have black skin. Let's see. The first footprints on the moon will remain there for 1 million years. And Netflix was conceived after its co-founders raked in a $40 late fee for a VHS tape rental. Think about things coming out of pretty much nowhere. Anyways, let's talk about some scoops of BS real quick. Google has made a change in search engine that makes it harder to find porn, which means that if you want to find porn on the internet, your search may now take up to 0.8 milliseconds instead of what it took before. A survey says that it can improve your relationships by going on a road trip. Just don't forget to call her every once in a while and let her know where you are. I just read that the average person changes their Facebook relationship status within 20 hours of a breakup. Amateurs, Taylor Swift has a song on the radio in under 13. I just read a study that claims that men with big feet tend to cheat more. A case study obviously performed completely on NBA players. Boxer Manny Pacquiao turns 43 today. He wanted a piñata, but his family was afraid that he might hit back and knock him out. So there you go.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Okay, so here you go. As you are aware, we are just a few days away from Christmas, so hopefully you got all your shopping done. If not, the Madhouse starts this weekend going forward. If you haven't done so with all the last-minute shoppers, those are the things that do happen. You know that, I know that, so there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some random jokes if you need one of those for today. What I don't like about office Christmas parties is looking for a job the next day. You can try that one, see how well that goes over. Also, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is your worst ever Christmas shopping fail? What is your worst ever Christmas shopping fail? I'm sure that's pretty easy to probably talk about, that's for sure. Also, if you need something for the water cooler, try this question. 1/3 of us plan to buy a gift for our pets, but only 13% will buy a gift for this person. Who is it? A coworker. You want to know why? Because you probably have too many of them. I know it's kind of difficult to do that if you start thinking about it. Anyway, so there you go. That's a lot of stuff going on inside of that neck of the woods as we are talking on this morning. Anyways, well, I will be going over to Radio Big, as I did tell you. Thank you for taking a listen to what we had going on here on the Rated R Safety Show. We can't do what we do without you, the most important part of RadioBig.fm and Safety FM, and that is the listener. We just can't do it. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, Safety FM is the home of real safety talk. We really do enjoy spending this time together every morning as you allow us to do so and doing the different things that we get to do as we get to hang out and do all the different kind of stuff. Anyways, we will be back next week, God permitting, because who knows what the hell will happen. My voice has gotten, I guess, it has improved as we've gone throughout the week. I was kind of afraid that I was going to lose it more and more as we were going. So thanks for hanging out with me as I've been during this battle of whatever the hell I have. So there you go. And it's not COVID. I've already taken 3 tests in like 2 weeks, just in case, for the sake of saying so. Anyways, thank you for taking a listen today. If I can leave you with a thought for today, I would love to leave you this one. Happiness is an inside job. Think about it. Happiness is an inside job. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye. Think about things. Have a fun day. I'm sure we'll talk very, very shortly in the very near future. If you want to come and hang out, I'll be over at radiobig.fm. If you want to take a look at our newest ebook, like I've been telling you throughout the week, all you have to do is go to safetyfmplus.com, and it is waiting for you right there.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.